Hey guys, this is a part three summary of Angela's Ashes, and we start off part three with Angela telling her children not to go near a trunk that she keeps in the house, and it turns out that this trunk holds a bunch of items that are important to her that remind her of her past as a dancer and young woman. But Frank, being the guy he is, needed a uniform for his soccer team and cut hearts out of a red dress that was in the trunk, and that worked out for him. Frank and his friends were then playing a game of soccer with some other children, and at this point, Frank's bad eyesight was mentioned because of the infection that he had after his typhoid. Okay, then after that, Frank is then offered a job distributing coal with a neighbor named Mr. Hannon, and Mr. Hannon is an old man who has very bad legs and he needs some help distributing the coal. Frank enjoys this job because it makes him feel like a man and capable, but his mother forces him to quit because the coal dust was destroying his eyes further. That made her pretty emotional. Then on Christmas Day, their father Malachi returns from England for the holiday, but comes home to a family that he wasn't treated as welcomely by his family as usual because they're getting tired up with his drunken behavior. During the winter, the family is actually evicted because Angela couldn't pay rent, and so they to move in with Angela's cousin Lamont. Lamont is a drunk guy who's not happy with his life, and he doesn't do much except work, drink, and then sleep. At first, Frank and Lamont get along fine. Frank fetches Lamont books from the library, and that actually further develops Frank's love for literature because he sits there, reads the books at the library, and he enjoys that. But eventually, Lamont fails to deliver on a deal he made with Frank, and the two get into a fight, and Frank has to move in with Ab Sheehan. Uh, Now, young Malachi is sent away to the Army School of Music, and Angela begins despairing that her family is disappearing. Um, Also, I should mention that Angela has several sexual affairs with Lamont while staying at his house, and they are cousins. Uh, Speaking of sexual, Frank has been developing and enjoying his sexuality, but also is very guilty because of that. The priests have strict rules on sexual pleasure, and he's constantly guilty about that. Frank then gets a job working as a messenger boy, and he's enjoying it. And then he develops a relationship with a customer, Teresa Carmody, and they have sex a lot until she eventually dies because she had consumption. And he believes he is a dirty sinner, and he thinks he sent Teresa to hell. Uh, Frank then, after working for a while, goes and has his first pint with Uncle Pa Keating, and Frank just continues saving money from his job and eventually works up enough to reach his goal of moving to the U.S. Now, as far as characterization goes, we did see that Frank has sexually developed and also has developed a love for reading and literature. Um, Themes have stayed relatively the same: poverty, just poverty, and that wraps it up. Thank you.